This is not just another video. It's a calling, an invitation for those who are tired of staying where they are. If you choose to listen until the end, get ready, because something in you will shift, and it won't go back. There is something extraordinary about human life. Most people want to change, yet almost no one knows where to begin. Not because they lack discipline, not because they lack motivation. What they truly lack is something much simpler: a spark, a clear starting point, a moment in time where a habit comes to life. That is the quiet beauty of this chapter. Here we learn that habits are not born from desire. They are born from the exact moment we decide to begin. Before we dive into the ideas, imagine this scene. It's 2001. In a cold room somewhere in Great Britain, almost 250 people gather. None of them know that what is about to happen will reveal one of the deepest keys to human change. Researchers divide the group into 3 parts. One group simply has to record how much exercise they do. Another group receives motivation, scientific explanations, powerful reasons to move their bodies. The third group, however, receives something entirely different: a single sentence. Something like this: I will do vigorous exercise for 20 minutes on Wednesday at 6 p.m. in the park near my home. That one sentence changes everything. While the first 2 groups barely manage to get about 1/3 of the participants to exercise, the third group surpasses 90%, not because they are more motivated, not because they have more willpower, but because they know exactly when to begin. And when the mind knows when to begin, the body follows. This idea is called an implementation intention, a sophisticated name for something incredibly human. A habit needs a precise moment to be born. It does not depend on emotion. It depends on a map. When the right situation happens, you perform the right action. So simple, so powerful. And this truth does not only work in laboratories, it works in real life. For example, a hospital in London managed to double the vaccination rate among its staff, not with motivational speeches, not with rewards, but by asking each person to write down the exact day and place where they would get their flu shot. A simple plan turned a weak intention into an inevitable action. Let me tell you a different micro story. In a small town in Ireland lived a woman named Cara. She wanted to learn to play the violin after turning 40, but life kept getting in the way. Routine, fatigue, self-doubt. Her teacher told her something unusual: play only when you hear the first whistle of the kettle every afternoon. That tiny sound became the signal, and every day, without thinking, Cara picked up her violin and played, even if only for a single minute. Years later, she could perform full melodies, not because she was talented, but because she gave her habit a sacred starting point. That is the essence of everything. A habit without a when is just a wish. A habit with a when becomes a commitment. Most people get lost right here. They try to change by saying vague things like, I'm going to eat healthier, I'm going to write more, I'm going to train harder. But these sentences say nothing. They do not tell the mind when to act, and a mind without instructions always postpones. One of the most common mistakes is believing that we need motivation, when what we truly need is clarity. Clarity eliminates doubt. Clarity eliminates procrastination. Clarity eliminates that endless internal question: should I do it now or later? A clear habit removes that battle. Clarity also protects your attention. When you know exactly what you have to do at 8 in the morning, it becomes effortless to say no to everything that pulls you off track. But when your vision is blurry, every interruption feels legitimate. Implementation intentions transform someday into here and now. This strategy works for learning a language, quitting smoking, voting, eating better, or going to sleep earlier. It works because it turns life into a series of appointments with your future self, and clear appointments get honored. Now we move to one of the most powerful ideas in the chapter: habit stacking. This idea comes from the work of Professor B.J. Fogg. Its magic is simple. Instead of creating a habit from zero, you place it on top of something you already do. Your brain loves this process because it is not starting something new. It is extending something familiar. Let me share another micro story. In Colombia, a young doctor named Samuel struggled to find time to express gratitude each day. He always forgot, until one day, he attached the habit to something automatic: After I place my plate in the sink each night, I will say out loud one thing I am grateful for. That tiny change transformed his emotional life. The habit no longer got lost in the chaos of the day. It had a place. It had a home. Habit stacking works exactly like this. After I pour my coffee, I meditate for 1 minute. After I take off my shoes, I put on my workout clothes. After I sit down for dinner, I say one thing I'm grateful for. After I get into bed, I kiss my partner. Actions become a chain, a dance, a natural rhythm. Each behavior pulls the next one forward, but there are common errors. One is choosing signals that are too vague. When I have lunch, I'll do 10 push-ups. What does "when I have lunch" mean? Before eating? After? In the kitchen? At the office? Vagueness destroys the habit. Specificity sets it free. Another error is trying to place a habit into a moment that does not match your real life. If your mornings are chaos, do not try to meditate there. If you come home exhausted, do not try to start studying right after work. Emotional friction destroys even the best intentions. That is why this chapter insists on a soft but profound principle. The place where you plant your habit determines its destiny. Habit stacking lets you design rituals that do not depend on motivation. They depend on structure, continuity, and signals that already exist. You can build entire chains. After I drink my coffee, I meditate. After I meditate, I prepare my agenda. After I prepare my agenda, I begin my first task. This turns a chaotic morning into a precise flow. You can do the same in the evening. After dinner, I put the plate in the dishwasher. After that, I clean the table. After that, I prepare tomorrow's coffee cup. Your life becomes a river, not a puzzle. And here is the most beautiful part. With time, the signal activates the habit even before you think about it. Just like Pavlov's dog salivating at the sound of the bell, your body prepares itself for the right action at the right moment, effortlessly, smoothly, without a mental fight. Habit stacking works because it turns your everyday life into a system where every action has an echo, and every echo pulls you toward the next best version of yourself. When you understand this, you realize something essential. You do not need more willpower. You need architecture. You need design. You need signals that are obvious, repeated, and precise. Because in the end, change is not a heroic act. It is a structural act. It is the art of deciding the exact moment when your next transformation begins. Every habit begins at a precise point in time. That point is sacred. It is the border between who you have been and who you can become. If you want a new beginning, don't declare it. Design the moment when it happens. Choose a when, choose a where, choose a signal, and you will watch your life begin to move on its own, as if your future were gently pulling you forward. Habits do not change the world all at once, but a clear and specific beginning changes your inner world forever. Change doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you decide to move. Subscribe and keep your mind expanding. The books are in the description. Take ownership of what you want to build.